Hey everybody, it's Brandon with FastDataScience.ai, and this is another edition of This Week in AI. So, while I was hoping to be bringing you this edition from the lovely mountains of Whistler, COVID 19 had other plans for me, so I'm back in my office here to talk a little bit about some of the top stories that hit my inbox this week. So, let's go ahead and get after it. Today is Friday, February 18th. 2022. And if you'll recall, I changed my process up a little bit for delivering recommendations to me, so I know kind of some ideas on what to cover. G-Scrapey goes in, pulls out all the emails for a given week for my Google alerts related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science. Then G-Scrapey performs some analytics, some natural language processing that allow me to organize all of those articles I get throughout the week into different themes or topics. I then go about selecting the most representative title from each topic, and then I take a look at those and figure out which ones I want to talk about, I want to dive a little bit further into and read, and then share with all of you. So this week, 90 articles hit my inbox. And of those, G-Scrapey organized them around 5 different topic areas. And so here is my interpretation of those topic areas. The smallest topic, but the most interesting, and the one that I pulled 2 articles from this week, is topic number 1, which is what I'm calling Wacky AI. And we'll take a look at a couple of articles from that topic area. Topic number 2, really common theme I'm starting to see, makes sense. A lot of news talks about education in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science. We'll actually take a look at one of those articles real briefly. So it's also one of the more, I think, more highly populated, right? There's a lot of articles representative of that topic. Topic number 3 is market trends, another really common theme that I see. And so actually the one that we'll pull kind of pulls from 2 and 3. And then topic number 4 was just kind of a catch-all miscellaneous bucket. Topic number 5, applied artificial intelligence. And I thought there were some really interesting applications there. We'll take a look at one of those that is specifically focused on the clinical applications or clinical side of trends in data science and artificial intelligence. Okay, let's get after it. So, as I mentioned, one of the more common areas or more common themes that I'm starting to see in these news titles is discussions and news about trends, markets, skills, all the stuff related to education, right? And so this particular headline really touches on that, talks about the importance of and the growth, the potential growth value of the education market for data science training programs. As we all know, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence is really ubiquitous. It's important for not just technical leaders, but business leaders as well to really understand all of the different technologies associated with these fields. So that way they learn to understand how new technologies fit within that ecosystem, understand and are able to identify which may make the most sense. This is also true for students, right? Trying to learn the field to be developers here. It's really important for them to understand that complex technology, all the different components that go into data science solutions, artificial intelligence solutions. So it's no surprise that the market is growing and it's expected to grow. What I pulled out of this article that I found really interesting was sure, it's obvious that this means lots of professional and certificate courses are going to be hitting the market, are going to be supported by some major companies as well as some smaller companies. But what I found most, I think, informative about this article was that major industries in need are going to be finance, insurance, professional services, and IT. As somebody who looks at getting into the education space, I think this is a really good sort of directive on some markets to maybe focus on, maybe even identify some folks in those markets or some companies in those markets who are interested in developing out their own training programs to support skilling up their staff, skilling up their leadership, and being really prepared for taking advantage of data science tools, technologies, and so on. All right, let's jump on to article number 2. Can machine learning be used to improve mental health? So we're looking at one clinical application here of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, yada yada. And so, what's really interesting about this article, I think it's no surprise that these technologies are being applied to health and supporting folks, particularly their physical health. This article actually looks at mental health, which is a little bit different. Mental health is really focused around these areas and applying data science solutions to these areas. Treatment plans, the development of treatment plans, the ability to identify biomarkers that are important for understanding people in different places in their mental health so that we understand different means of outreach and different potential treatment plans to apply to those folks. And in addition, this all kind of feeds also into crisis prediction, which is being able to identify when somebody may be at particular risk for a mental health crisis. What does all this really come down to? It really comes down to good old fashioned predictive analytics, being able to predict the best plan for somebody to be able to prevent a potential mental health crisis. And so a lot of classic algorithms are being applied in this space. A lot of approaches that beginning data scientists get a lot of exposure to are really, really relevant in these areas. And what we're starting to see is more advanced, sophisticated artificial intelligence algorithms being layered on to these traditional predictive analytics approaches in order to add more features to make those predictive models even more powerful, even more accurate, even more predictive. So layering in computer vision, if there are images available that are related to things that that are indicative of a person's physical health, that may help also predict their mental health. And that's also true with natural language processing. The way in which we write, we can pull features out of those that help us understand a person's mental space. So augmentation really happening here with AI in that feature engineering space, coming in and helping us build really good predictive models to support mental health. Okay. Next area that was also a really fascinating article. So this comes out of that topic of Wacky AI. I love this article because it really does put a spotlight on the buzz that surrounds artificial intelligence and really questions the researchers who are selling their solutions to be able to argue that we need to be a little bit more careful. We need to be a little bit more, I think, informed on what exactly those solutions are doing and ask ourselves some hard questions about whether or not those solutions should be looked at in the context of other things. So this one's article is titled Fool's Gold, Even AI Successes Can Be Failures. What's really cool about this is the article really puts a spotlight on confusing an AI failure as though it were an AI success, just because you essentially analyzed a whole bunch of data. So in the article, they talk about a model that predicted Brazilian voting using Twitter data at a 60% accuracy. One of the themes in the article that really comes out is that essentially what this model failed to do was failed to be researched properly. You have to be able to compare the model to some other valid comparison to really understand if the model's any good. The researchers were just excited they got 60% accuracy, but as this particular researcher points out, who wrote the article, if we had simply predicted that whoever did better in the October 5th vote would have won the October 26th vote or runoff, then we would have had 93% accuracy. We didn't even need a model. That's Gary Smith who wrote this. He's a senior fellow at Walter Bradley Center for Natural and Artificial Intelligence. Great article, really good, I think, take-home points, a good message for a lot of us in the space to really think about and really be better about understanding what the true impact is of the data that we're using, the artificial intelligence that we're building, and how we're using it. We need to use it responsibly. Okay, what caught my eye this week? That is good old-fashioned artificial intelligence and other weird and wonderful AI trivia. Obviously, this comes out of the Wacky AI topic. And so there are a whole list of really interesting kind of historical movements around artificial intelligence and their products. Go check it out. The two that were the most interesting to me, the most entertaining, Benjamin, which is a recurrent neural network who directed his, I guess, because his name's Benjamin, own movie called Zoned Out, and then Sophia, which is just a wacky looking robot who has some now political rights apparently. So Benjamin wrote and directed and created this movie. You can check it out on YouTube. It's called Zoned Out, or Zone Out, excuse me. And then this is Sophia. this is uncomfortable. I find artificial intelligence, when we try and make it look really human with robotics, it can be a little unnerving. But Sophia is now a resident, or a citizen, excuse me, of Saudi Arabia, and was also hailed by the UN as being very innovative. And indeed, this may be the beginning. She represents the beginning of more and more robotics that are trying to emulate human behaviors with their software that now can be more artificially intelligent because they have language models that are supporting the ability to handle conversations with humans. Okay, really interesting, kind of a weird note to go out on. Hopefully, you guys have a great weekend. And if you are looking for any of the links in the episode here, they are. Pause. You can write these links down. Sorry, some of them are lengthy. Or just look up the article titles. These are great articles, really, really enriched my understanding of the field this week and today in particular. So I hope you all have a great weekend and look forward to another edition next week. Bye, everybody.